Welcome back again to Big Ego Media Entertainment and to Bobby Meets, and today we've got a special guest for you. It's Nathan, CEO of GL7, one of the biggest brands coming out of the London side, South London, originally known as AKA Crimer. If you know, you know. So today we're going to be talking about his journey from growing up in Peckham to transitioning to what he does now with his brand.
I'm sitting in my crypto, looking out the window, feel the spirit of my grandma's when the wind blows, smoking on Indo, chilling with the yardies. Now I move righteous, cause I think smartly, now gets past me. I'm always clocking like clowns watching me cause they're power in the party. As the spit lyrics feel another storm coming, and as the clip finish I can see them all running, and I gotta keep a Glock on my waist, Rolex watch on my mates for the clock in my place. Bunch of plastic use, I should call the ends Hollywood. Big lights and filming like the pretenders Hollywood. 17 inches, my whip looks grimy. Stepped up my game, certain pricks put behind me.
So Nathan, first and foremost, thank you for having us. Thank you for the opportunity to come down so we can interview you. So let us know who Nathan the man is. So where was you born? What's your family background?
I was born in England. I was born in Guy's Hospital.
Guy's Thomas Hospital, yeah.
I was born in Guy's Hospital. England. My parents are Jamaican background. Yeah, and we started in, South London. My nan's always lived in Peckham area since as long as I can remember. So yeah, that's what I say. She was the first one to come over, and then we just branched and become a big family. That's how I say it.
So you said you grew up in Peckham. What school did you go to? Primary school?
St George's.
Whereabouts was that?
That was, off of Southampton Way.
Okay, yeah.
Rainbow Street.
Okay, yeah.
Right at the end.
Okay.
They've got St George's, but remember it's connected. It's like the outskirts of Gloucester Grove. So then you had Gloucester Grove in actual Gloucester Grove. We were just on the outskirts of St George's, yeah.
So how was school for you? Like being primary school, was you academic? Was you being in trouble? Did the teachers like you? Was you the funny guy?
I'm more of a physical person than I would say than a textbook person.
Yeah.
So when it comes to sports or anything physical, I was thriving. Academic side, yeah, I was kind of failing from early still.
Yeah. What did you find in the struggles in that? Was it just that you was too busy trying to concentrate on the fun things?
No, I just think they didn't find the method.
Yeah.
Or I think overcrowd. When I look back now, and where I am now in life, I look back and I can say, this thing overcrowded. I'm a person, I learn better on a one-to-one basis. That's what I'll be. Understand what I'm saying to you? So yeah, I just don't think no one, and they just make me understand it on the mechanics. I just think, like many kids, I just think they just put it down to bad behaviour and never got down to the root or to spend time to catch the root of it.
So you left primary school, went to secondary school. Which secondary school?
I got thrown straight out. They didn't even accept me in secondary school.
They didn't get accepted in secondary school too?
Nah, they were saying like I was too much. I was just wild, and they didn't want to take no talk. So that was just a no-no. It would be a sentence, and it would be a sentence. And then they tried to tell me about I'm going to a special needs school. That was never happening on my watch. Not in the common sense I got and how I flex and how I do. That was never happening. So that school just went out the window, bro.
So how did that affect family? Did families getting onto you like you must do better? How was that relationship?
I think it affected my mum more because I have two older siblings where their academic was, I'm not going to say it was the greatest, but it was alright. Where mine was in a struggling state, and I think that kind of made my mum feel like, how comes the other two get it and this you is this not getting it? So I think my made me more reflect on her, and then that made me, I could kind of see her frustrations growing up. Like, what is it with this you? You know. And don't matter what private tutor they got, even though I say I like to learn to work one-on-one, I just don't think I was ready, bro. I just don't think I wanted to.
No,
if I look back and be honest.
So it got to the transition of you being in trouble at school. Then how was it then? Obviously, we can't take away from your history and your past. You was known as Crimer. How did that name come about?
I think that was Big Brother's fault, you know.
Yeah.
I just think I think we was young. And I just think it was the time where everybody just had a little tag or had a little name. My first road name, it was something like Flames or something silly, and then we said, nah, scrap that. And then my big brother come up with his name. So there are attempts. And then I don't know why they called me Kramer. I didn't even get it, but I just ran with it.
So how was the transition in regards to being recognised as a Peckham boy? Was it an initiation, or just like, no, we're Mandem and we're from Peckham and that's the way it is?
I don't even think it went like that for me. Not for me. I just think, remember, I grew up on an estate. My nan had a big estate as well. Gloucester Grove estate. That estate was massive. And we grew up on an estate, so we just always grew up having friends and just being kind of tight. You see what I'm saying? To the estate I grew up in an estate in Campbell. And it was just we was tight. We grew up with each other. So obviously when we got to a certain age and we just started to go on road, we're going to stick together. If that gets classed as a gang, get classed as a gang, innit?
I hear that. So in regards to, I guess, then getting in trouble with authorities in the first place, like when you was starting to get in trouble with the police, how was that for you? And do you remember sort of the first, we all start with petty stuff, don't we? Like maybe just a graffiti or whatever it is. What was it for you that sort of, the transition? Was it trying to make quick money? So
the first time I ever got nicked, it was so petty. I was about 12, 13. Me and a couple of the man, I'm not going to call their names, they might not want their names to get called, but a couple of people I grew up with well. We went Woolworth Road, East Street Market. I don't even know, I can't remember what we was teaching. We just teaching things off the market. And the police ended up running us down and nicking 3 of us. And 1 of us got away. That was the first time I ever got arrested.
And how was that when you went to the police station, being in the cell? Because I always talk about when I went to prison, how I cried. Would you ever emotional? Oh my God, I messed up, I'm in trouble here.
Oh, nah, sorry. Nah, I wasn't like that. It was like, if I told the truth, it was more like, right, this is what it's like. Alright, cool. It's a bit boring, but you see me? At first it's like, right, get me the fuck out of here, I don't want to be in here. It's a bit annoying, but it's something I got used to after being going through it. But I was a very young boy when I first got arrested, so my mum come got me, obviously got a beating. But it wasn't something what 100% that deterred me. I'll be lying if I said that.
So I guess over time then it goes from being 12, 13 years old, stealing from East Street, so I guess bigger crimes and things like that. So when was it that you first ended up going to prison, and how was it being in prison for the first time?
I first went to prison. No, then if I give you the build up, before, from getting arrested, yeah? Then, but remember, I think all of my teething or getting arrested, mine was mostly, I wanted something. It was more money for me. You see what I'm saying to you? My first pair of 110s, I remember us as Peckham, all of us used to link up 12 o'clock. This is before we even started looking money. We just wanted to look good. All of us link up outside Crackerjack, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock we're gone on the bus. The bus has got 30, 40 of us. With them time then we're teething trainers, socks, we're teething we're teething stuff. We was basically shoplifting, but we was shoplifting to look smart. And then it got to money, I think. And then this went on, and then time, back to your question, the time I found myself in jail, the first time we don't even want to go into that, but we found ourselves on a case, me and my cousin, one of my real brethren from a long time, we found our case on a serious case. Then I beat that, I make couple promises to God, but remember I'm a people learn to read and write at the age of 26. My nan is a person of God from a long time, so I always, so I went jail. That's when I think my journey started. It's the first time I've got scared. If you want to know about the first time I got scared now, I'm in jail. Forget the being in jail. The first time I went to jail, that was kind of fun. Not fun, but I'm being honest. I took it as a joke. I didn't take it serious.
Yeah.
And then me, worst way, sitting on remand for that time, and the way we had it, smoking weed, running up and down the landing, bare man them. So I was scared, but it was, at the same time, it was an experience also where, do you understand what I'm saying to you? Man phone road and crime in jail. Worst way when I bust the case, that was even worse. Guys, worst way you bust your case, like right back on road, like I'm like, that was some amazing thing to people. You understand? Wrong sort of mindset to live in. And do you understand what I'm saying to you? It come like man's familiarity or went up when man beat their case. Like, there was no deterrence. But that's the first time I think I started praying to God myself. And really started to pray. And didn't want that to happen. My daughter was born murdered. Do you understand? And the sentence they were saying, that man get birded, it was a bird. Then I think come out, I lasted 18 months. I think everything I promised God, I think I kind of went back on it. But everything I asked God to give me, if He let me out, and He kind of give it to me. Only I can know that. Anyone can say whatever, but He give it to me. And then I think I just lost myself, and I went backwards, brother. And then, 18 months after that, I got a big case. And that's when I got F. Jail ain't fun no more, bro. You're not doing a couple months on the landing no more, bro. Now you're gonna sit here and you're gonna sit for one Christmas, one birthday, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're saying, right, when am I getting on? It's not cool no more. Like the dynamics of jail, just like we see the dynamics of road change from when you're 15 to you're 20 something. The dynamics change. The person who was 20 years, or 5 years older than you, 20, he might have moved on now. He ain't hanging around on street corners. The dynamics change, right? I noticed that in jail. I'm saying, right, there's none of that. Before when I went to jail, bare man, I could walk through the place and everybody's yo. It's like cool. I remember the last time I got a recall, even though I've been off license for a long time, my last recall made me feel like, right, man was calling me uncle in jail, like, right, seeing my little grey and saying, uncle, I'm saying, right, this, you went mad. I remember when I was 21 in jail having fun. This ain't cool. That was frightening to see the dynamics change. But remember, I come out of road, I see the dynamics change on road again, then I see the dynamics change in the jail place again. Do you get what I'm saying to you? When I say that?
No, 100%.
The dynamics of age group and things change. So everything's changed for me, brother. For me, it did. It changed.
What I want to touch on as well is very interesting. You said that you didn't learn to read and write until you was 26.
Yeah.
What gave you? Because sometimes people go to jail, and I used to work for the Samaritans. I also work as a listener and stuff like that as well, and also for the
toe-to-toe rep.
Yes,
it's cool, relax, man. I can tell you this cool yourself, man.
That's the one.
You go to man selling help out, relax, man.
So some people wouldn't want to engage. You're trying to say, look, let's do reading and writing. They wouldn't want to engage. What made you say, you know what? Actually, no. I'm 26 years old. I'm gonna do this.
Alright, brother. See me. I'm a person. It's something my stepdad said. My little brother's dad. I got 3 fathers. I got a heavenly father, my biological father, and my little brother's dad, my stepdad. That's my tree. That's the treatment what up to this day can still call her and have a God relationship with him. He always said to my mum when she used to stress you, or when they used to try and get me tutors, and but I just wasn't paying no attention. He said something to the woman like one day when I was a kid, like, don't bother me about this. Don't you know about this youth? She's telling her, like, I'm his son, but I'm not his son. You understand? But he's telling her about me, telling her, don't you remember, this youth only does what he wants to do. He's only going to do it when he wants to do it. So here what happened. Remember, when I'm on road before without reading and writing, I had a daughter at the age of, when I was 16. So I'm not one of these youths, I proper come up. So from 14, 15, I learned how to take care of myself, 16, 17. You understand? I'm doing me, surviving. Then I just got to that stage. There were so many people didn't know I couldn't read or write. What? 'Cause I was just living a road life and I was very good at it. So I was at one stage, remember I got to 19, I went, my proper conviction come at the age of 21. You gotta remember, them time there I was still living in a nice done-up flat, driving a nice car, had a little jewelry, whatever. You understand what I'm saying to you? So reading or writing wasn't in it. I was like, fuck, I can get through this without it. If I tell you the truth, what made me have to learn to read or write, I'm not going to have it. So back to the story about what my stepdad said to my mum and said, he only does things when he needs to or he has to. You know how jail works, bro. You're filling out a candy sheet. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? You're filling out your... Brother, do you know how much times I went down and fighted with surgery people because I couldn't read all right and I'm not eating on... You know list. I went mad to brother, do you know what? Brother, before I just tell them, brother, help me do this. Or, do you know how much fights I had and went down the block because I'm saying you went mad. Then remember, I'm doing this thing of masking it up. Man, I'm bad, man don't feel like this. You're chatting shit. If I could feel like this, I'll feel like the list, bro. Like, and that's just me being real.
That's the one of the reasons.
You see what I'm saying to you? But I can't, bro. And I got fed up of people. I don't want everybody reading my fucking mail, bro. You got personal things coming through your mail. You got to ask someone to fill out. This is every week. What do you think? I'm going to do 5 and I've got 10 years. I'm going to do 5 years and I'm going to beg someone every week to do this. Brother, especially lose your pride. That's the first time I lost my pride. What? And like you saying, there's certain man, you've been the toe-to-toe man, so there's certain man with their name was ringing out of road and rare. They don't want to do that. Because you have to not belittle yourself, but you have to humble yourself. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So that was one of the first times where God had to humble me. You're nobody. You forget all this heat thing you built up out of road or what you think you're going on with. He humbled me. And I just said, fuck it. I just went to the class and said, you know, it's best I learn to do this. Then I go through just doing all this ignorant, down the block for nothing. Just because you're telling a man, imagine, you know how it goes, you get shit from one jail to another. Remember, when you're in one jail with all the man and you're good, everybody knows you, calm down, forget that list, you're good, you know the surgery. But imagine going to a whole total brand new jail, you know you have to build that repertoire, whatnot, you're coming down, badding up surgery, you know surgery, you know how it goes, bro. I wasn't willing to go through that for 5.5 years, bro. That's long.
No, and I commend you for that, because a lot of people don't even admit to that. So that could also be empowerment for people watching.
No, but look around you, brother. Look around you. I've got a business, bro. My business ain't half-hearted, bro. Down to my zips, it's got GL7 on there. This is 100% of Peru non-cotton. This cotton is only grown in Peru Mountain, bro. My company's doing all right. I own a property. I've actually worked at, but remember, only reason why I could work that out is because of what I went through. Though. It was everything we've done. We basically branded anyway.
So with your name, then with the branding of, I know we don't use that name anymore with crime, because that name was known around. Was you aware of your status in the hood? Was you aware that I'm known? I'm someone to not play with, that people understand that?
The time I noticed it. The time I got knocked off my pedal. Remember, they all got a saying, the humble man learned to have it all. The proud man has a great fall. There's something, you know, when you hear little sayings, what sweet you or sour you, like this little stupid sayings the elders would say, and you think they have no relevance when you're younger. But all of these had this. Now I can understand the relevance of them. But they sort of sat me down and explained to me and not give me something so simple if you're not going to work that out. You understand? So I think all these things are just coming true, brother. And they make sense now. If you get what I'm saying.
Because I never ever really interacted with you on road. And like I said, off camera, we won't talk about it. I only saw you ever in one incident. We won't talk about that, but that's the only. And I'm telling my brother, oh, that's them. He's like, yeah. So your name was sort of someone that's known. So how was the transition then? Because like I said, that's the past, and we moved on to the future in regards to everything you're doing now. How was it? You said you humbled yourself to learn to read and write. How was it to humble yourself? So you know what? I'm gonna go on the legit path.
No, it wasn't. You know the journey of that place. You can meet dumb criminals, violent people, non-violent people, smart criminals. You understand? It's this you meet all sorts, and you have conversations with all sorts. So I was just a person, I had conversations, and one man sparked something in my head. And he said, all right, cool, you always chat about this rich thing, and man, you always man love to go out like dripping, and man want to do this one. But one day, the man asked me a proper serious question that made me think about it. You want to be rich? I said, yeah. He said, listen, there's only 4 ways you can get rich. Physically rich. He said, people can be mentally rich. He said, look at that man. We had a gym man in the place. He loved to do gym, but you could see that makes him happy. You understand? But he said, how are you going to get physically rich? I did remember there's physically rich, spiritually rich, mentally rich, emotionally rich. There's all sorts of richness. But he asked me, you move like you want to be physically rich. The way your brain works, the way you're moving here. How are you going to do this? Even on the wrong side or the top side? He just asked me a serious question and made me go, and he gave me a couple of days to think about it. I come back to him and said a stupid, you know, like when you say something stupid, thinking you know it all. I said something stupid to him. He said, no, there's only 4 ways to get rich. You have a product, offer a service, like, and I can give you an example, or inherit or win the lottery.
Repeat that again so people understand that, so they get that.
There's only 4 ways you can be physically rich. You have a product, and your product can help you to get rich, and you have to push it. You offer a talent or a service. That's like a musician, someone what fix some top man what fixes all engines or creates engines. He's offering a service. A musician offers a service. Do you understand? So, or you win the lottery, or you inherit it. That's the only way you can be physically rich. And I just actually went down and said, well, how are you gonna get? I forget all the stuff. You know when you're in there by yourself, you sit down and be honest with yourself now. No one to show off to. There's no one to. This is you. Like you should be honest. So I just sat down and said, then, how am I? Obviously, reading the Bible, because you don't know GL7 to the word. It has to be. So reading my Bible, this tells you the righteous leave an inheritance for their children's children. These stupid little things, what man thinking, right, for real, I had a child. I didn't think of having nothing saved for my child. What am I doing for my child? What is that? I'm not moving like a righteous man. It says a righteous, I'll find it for you there. It says the righteous leave an inheritance for their children's children. I'm saying, no, what inheritance? And if you read about these people, there was nobody's David, this meant to be a sheep boy. My man got left in a Moses basket. You understand what I'm saying to you? My man got sold as a slave. Daniel got... So, when I read it, knowing me, remember, these are stories. Remember when I'm saying about God loves 7 in the Bible? I'm not a Bible basher, brother. I still do certain things, and do you understand? But I know what it's done for me and what it made me look like. When I read the story of David, I'm thinking this man's meant to be nobody. This is how I felt. He probably felt like me. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? And nobody, and he's saying, I'm just a little farmer. Can I be a king and then rule this? And do you understand what I'm saying to you? My man just said he had a dream. His brother sold him this for that dream. He had to go through murder, prison, you know. Woman lying and saying they ripped. So I didn't make prison define me, because the stories I was reading about man what got locked up, and then I could actually look at Nelson Mandela's story. This is like a living day's prophet. I've read someone like him in the Bible, you know.
You know what? I just said that. I've never even thought about it.
Nah, but what are you talking about? I've read Daniel's story. Joseph got sold as a slave. Yeah. I've read Joseph's story. He come out of jail and was the president of Egypt. Nelson Mandela, in my lifetime, I've seen the man been on the run. Wanted, they give him 27 years. Can you imagine, even when he done 10 of them years, someone going to say to him, don't worry, time you get out of here, you're gonna be the president of this country. He would have said, you're lying. So, me reading that book, it just made me realize, bro, there can be more to your life than what people say about you, what try to say about you, what they're trying to put on you, how they try to project you, how you come across. Do you understand? So that just gives me a whole different mad belief, bro. And remember, it's the first book I ever studied or read, bro. I've never took a test in my life. So this is why I tell the people about uni, bro. I don't care about it. I don't care about qualifications. Because I've only took one test in my life, and that's my driving. That's my theory test for my driving test. Do you understand? I've never took a test. I've never had a job interview. The only interview I had, is in the police station, no comment. I've never been to a job interview in my life, bro. But look, I have someone here, she works here, so I pay her. I pay many other staff.
No, it's
so how can you have a... Think of this, and this is logic. How can they say to go and work for a company, or some big companies, you have to have a degree. But to start a company, you don't have no degree. Don't we just find that backwards?
Say that again.
Brother, to go and work for someone who's built their company, they're saying you best have these degrees. To start a company, you don't need no degree. So do you think I'm going to go and want to work for your company? I'm just going to start my own then? Because you're telling me I've got to go and study for all this and do this and do this. But to start my own, I didn't need no degree. It's a bit... This is what I'm saying to you.
But tell us about the company then. God Love 7, GL7. What was the thinking behind the name? When did it start? The history of it, basically.
Our inspiration was behind, like I said before, someone asked me a question. I can't rap, so I wasn't going to go down the rap industry. And I could see there was people starting to try to build their own brand. But I didn't like half of them. It's like, half of them, I think, they was giving it a good shot and they was trying. But I said, nah. If we're going to do this, there's only one or two people, someone like Bencher, independent. He goes hard. His team looks professional. His team can stand up tonight, Reebok, Adidas. That's what I believe. And I believe everybody else was trying it. So I believe, there's a gap in there if you just push it and brand yourself and everything you put your heart and everything else in the wrong thing. Well, just give yourself a chance to put it in the right thing. And that's it. And that's for everybody out there. If you give yourself a chance to do the wrong thing, and you've been doing the wrong thing for years, now just stop and just try to give yourself a chance to do the right thing and see how it works out. But we know the result of the wrong things, right? And that's how I got to G Love 7. I'm going to give myself a chance to have a chance.
So what was behind the name?
Oh, you know me, I'll show you again, my Bible, B. Listen, in the first, if you believe Muslim, Christian, Jewish, if you believe of this God, they say he done what in the first 7, in how much days? He created the earth, created light, what. Before there was any Adam and Eve on the earth, what did he do on the 7th day? See, you can look it up if you want.
He rested, no?
And done what? And what did he say on the 7th day? Come on, let's look it up, bro.
Let's look
You see it, we can look it up, we don't have to if for armor about it, see it. Alright, you're gonna tell them what he done on the 7th day, because I marked it. Remember what he done, created, and this was before Adam and Eve was here. What did he do on the 7th day?
The 7th day, God had finished the work he had been doing. So on the 7th day, he rested from all his work. And God blessed the 7th day and made it holy. Because on it, he rested from all the work of creating that he had done.
Cool. That's just the... Alright, so remember, my first child, my first ever, my daughter is the 7th. Her birthday was on the 7th. That's even before I could even read. Do you understand? Now the first gift God gave me to say, take care of, that's you now, that's your duty. She was the 7th. So then when I was just going through it, walk around the wall of Jericho 7 times, when my man robbed his family, bowed down, if you go from the start of the Bible to even they say Revelation, the end, it's the 7 seals. 7 is all I said. Then remember, I got a little bit of common sense. They just said, then I looked at it and they said, and then there's a time in my life, my last child's, the mother of my last children, the two of my last 2 years, she's the 7th of the 7th. And when she come in my life, believe you me, she was an angel at that time. Believe you me, bro. They see me, so I just got to realize the number. Then every day they say lucky 7 this. I just realized the number, the power of 7. And remember they say it's the number of completion. I want to be complete now, bro. So if I've gone from Peckham OG, Kramer, EYP, now finish at GL7, well, I'm nearly 40. That's a good completion number. Growing into the big man now. So I just feel like, that is going to complete me. I can see, I can pass down this to my children. I couldn't pass down. What I want to do, pass down Kramer. You understand what I'm saying to you?
But tell us about the branding. What do you have? What do you, so people understand, so people are watching, say, you know what, let me go and support him, his transition, what can we buy?
We have everything. Not everything, I'm not going to say everything, not yet. We have, for the ladies, we have bags, beach bags, we have tracksuits, we have socks, we have hats. Grab me a pair of sliders. We have sliders. We have rechargeable lighters. We have hats, hoodies, t-shirts, tracksuits, towels, rucksacks. Brother, anything a brand should have. And what I haven't got, I'm growing. So yes, I won't be efficient of Nike or Adidas or Reebok, but I think I'm efficient enough, and I believe it's on a professional level. I'm not giving you nothing half-hearted. Everything has to come proper stitch, proper package, proper branded. Yeah, so that's where so that's like when I got out of jail.
So when you got out of jail, was it hard to start this up? Did you have to go through some struggles first?
Like looks at it, that said it all, like he just brought me back. I think it was more sourcing what I wanted. That's what the hard part for me. I was very specific of the quality and standard I want of my clothes. So that was the hard part for me. And not knowing where to go or who to go to. See, like if who's older than me, I'm not telling you feel crap, I don't know your circumstances, but there wasn't enough for you lot. You lot could only teach me the wrong things, you haven't teach me. So you can understand that, you could come to me now, off the road, I could point him and say, you want hats? You can do hats, boom, boom, boom. I know what you want, I didn't have that. No one were really to point me. I had to learn it all from scratch, trial and error. Do you understand? So by the grace of God, all what I went through, the next generation or anyone who I can help, who really want to take it serious, because I've had so much people come to me and chat like they want a clothing line and whatnot, but I'm like, bro, you was just stepping half-hearted. I'm not going to be putting my time into you, and I didn't step half-hearted. So, but by the grace of God, I've got all the information for someone to beat that process. And I wish I had someone who I could have went to beat that process, because it was the hardest process.
Would you say this is one of your biggest achievements, like one of the proudest things you're proud of?
No.
More to come, I guess.
No. More to come. But I think one of my proudest moments is achieving something. If anything happens to me, my kids, there's something left for my kids. That's one of the proudest moments, like to say, raw. Do you know, like if I dead now, I'll put certain things in place, my children benefit. That's the proudest moment, because we're all gonna die. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? That's one of my proudest moments. Like to say, raw, do you know, they get something, and now I can only build on that. So that's one of my proudest moments, to know anything happens to me now, I can help to give my kids a start, or I can contribute to them, you know? Here or not here.
Is there anything that you can say, like, when we all live life and have regret, is there anything you can say, you know what, I regret this the most for my time as being on the road, and if I could do anything different, I'll do this different? Or is it everything is brought you to where you are right now?
Listen to me, I'm a believer of my Bible, and I just got to believe in faith, I believe in the words. And it said, all things, if you're according to God's purpose and plan, is going to work out. And let me tell you, the worstest time, listen to me, brother, when I went through one of the worstest times of my life, let's just be honest, it ended up being, if I didn't go, imagine I thought when I got my sentence, it's one of the worstest things that's happened to me. And what happened to me before I got my sentence, and what I was going through before my life was kind of in a turmoil place. But from the turmoil place, if that turmoil didn't happen, would I have a company now? I don't think so. I don't think I would have learned to read and write. I don't think the switch would have switched, and I had time to reflect and study, and it's monkey see, monkey do, you know. I had time to read some books, and you know what happens when you read? You give yourself another channel to think on. Do you understand? So all I've done is give myself another channel. Would that a channel have come if I didn't get myself in trouble and be in the predicament? Diamonds are made under pressure, bro. It's either you can crack and break, or you can make yourself to be a. And that's what my mindset was. No matter what happens, I'm a diamond. I'm getting made under pressure. So I wouldn't say I'm not gonna take nothing back, bro.
So in regards to, I guess, black companies and black organisations, we saw sort of this Black Pound Day and stuff like that. And what do you think we need to do as black people to support each other more? Because like you said, we'll go to different shops and spend money on the likes of the Adidas, the likes of the Pumas. So what do you think is lacking, and why we're not investing within our own communities as much?
Oh, I think, let's not say that, because I look back now, yeah? I don't know if you're going to remember this, because they was when SMS. Do you remember that group?
Yeah.
Oh, bro, I see some footage of their thing, yeah? And I feel stupid. But when I look back on their footage, they, see like me now, I have GL7 cup, GL7 lighter, socks, trainer, car, back. They was doing that from so early. If you go back and look at some of that footage, yeah, their cars, their tops, their jumpers, every single one of them. But I was still brainwashed then. I was still more probably buying Versace or Moschino, and I look back and think, oh, you lot done this too early. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So I just think it's a brainwashed system we live in, bro. It's this, and it's facts. It's not like, I don't understand, why do we not rate? Because we rate the tick. We don't rate the quality of the clothes. I can go right now on this camera and go and get you a Nike t-shirt and buy it from JD anywhere, Foot Locker, and I bet you my quality of a t-shirt is better than this. I'm not asking, you can Google it and let Google tell us. I bet you. We're just buying into the name. I think they've been bred in that so much. Why did we rob still? When I think about it, bro, we robbed stove to almost Chino for this. We done some to make other people rich. Why didn't you respect us and build our own thing? It's like the music. You got to remember, we built the music and the music goes outwards. But with fashion and some other things, it's like we make the money, go and support them, and then bring it back to our community. So what I want to do, and what my idea is this we push it outwards. And this is what I'm saying, everybody who's got a clothing brand, please, see sometimes, just rather wait and don't do it. You have to start from somewhere. I started from a hat, bro. I started from one hat. So start from somewhere and don't rush it. Do you understand? It's frustrating as well when you do a little hat and a t-shirt and everybody starts buzzing, and then you haven't done all your homework, and then you haven't got your suppliers to keep up with demand, then you think your buzz is gonna die down. I've been through all of them stress. All it is, stick at it and do it 100. That's the only way we're gonna be able to challenge them all. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? It's just like having drugs, bro. If it don't matter if you got the good thing, they're coming to where the thing is proper. And just keep your business, man. If you know about any road thing, anything you know about the road, yeah, I promise you, if you chat to the right person, you can see it and transfer it into, because it's a business, bro. It's business. I don't care. This is how you need to make sure it's the best product. If you are out a road and you're selling anything, you're not going to want to sell the crap thing, is you? And imagine if you do sell the crap thing and someone does come and see you, they're only coming to see you once and never coming back. If you sell the good thing and you don't even know that person and they buy it and it's good, they're going to want to come back to you, isn't it? It's the same concept. So please, anyone who's doing a clothing line, look for the best material. Be specific with details. Like, sometimes you don't see this in my. Look, this is for the customer. That's not for me. That's this for the customer. No one don't see that when the customers go it on. But it's to make the customer feel like they're buying something authentic. Do you know? Like, yeah. You understand? They don't leave with just a normal plastic bag. They leave with a bag that looks like Selfridges. Remember the way I done my GR7 bag? I just said, yeah, Selfridges bag. Do you remember everybody used to love walking with a Pepito bag? I'm just going back in my head. I remember when we go Pepitos as kids and we come back off that 12 or come Brixton with that blue Pepito bag saying Pepitos, you're the man. No, so what's the weight there? I remember that. So just go back in your own memory and remember what you like. And if you want to do your business, just try to turn. So I said, right, when I get in bags, I want people to feel like when they're leaving my store, they're leaving with a GL7 bag. Someone goes down. Do you know when people left my shop and left down the road? And just because they got my bag, someone else is saying hello to them, like, right, we know where you just come from. Go on. You see what I'm saying to you?
Makes sense.
So that's all it is about business. And I'm just trying to push.
So what's the next steps for you now? Like with GL7, are you looking to get out there, do some catwalk, get a new store?
Yeah, no, I've been here for nearly 2 years now. It's time for a bigger store. And learning business, I know what is my number one sellers. I know because I've had it a little while. I remember even when I was doing it, I had to catch up to learn business, you know. Like I was doing a company before and that's selling things and don't even know, and not even doing stock takes and not when this one sells it, you know it's gone. And I was just doing business like business, mixing up hat. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So I had to learn all of that. What's your number one sellers? What's not your number one sellers? The whole cost of. Remember before, I was just pushing. I'm only starting to straighten up the proper business side of it. Remember, on the front before, it looked like a business. It was just hats and me and the man them and everybody wearing it. But it wasn't really a business. I couldn't tell the bank or an investor, I've sold this much hats. Now I can tell them everything down to the T. So I had to learn that. That's something I had to learn. But like, as I'm saying, it's like going gym. You always work on your strong points, isn't it, when you go gym? But sometimes you've got to work on the weak parts as well. So that's all. That was the weak part of my side of my business, you know? But hustling comes naturally to me, hand-to-hand business. It was only the paperwork side where, but I'm learning that now, and I'm learning how to keep all of that. So I'm glad it's gonna be definitely couple events coming up. Definitely more digital marketing. I'm focusing more on my digital marketing. So any digital marketers you think you can do this stuff, you contact me, and there's a serious job and there's a serious part of the team you can come and join. But don't come with your idiot self, come with 100 or don't. You see what I'm saying to you? Yes, that's about just more focus on sales and media.
So if you could tell the kids of today, not even the kids today, if you could look back at yourself when you was 14, 15, what advice would you give to yourself? Being the man you are right now, what would you tell 14, 15-year-old Nathan?
Would I go back?
What would you tell him? If you're having an interview face-to-face with him right now,
Nathan,
what would you tell him?
14. Oh, Nathan 14. What did I tell Nathan 14? I tell him, you're an idiot. The way you think you're gonna go and look it, it's the wrong way. Can you imagine anyone puts their mind right from early? Look, we got one from Peckham. What's that one I see doing that? He was on the richest kids and he drives them cars.
I think I know into a car.
Nah, man, but he comes from Peckham, Camberwell.
Yeah.
I've seen him on the richest kids. He's like 25 or... Alright, smart. You didn't have to go to what I went through. You didn't have to go to a beer, man. He just got on his grind from early. And look how early he got it and he's achieved it. By the grace of God, I'm going to achieve it and get it. I'm going to have to achieve it later on. I believe we could have achieved it from that early if we channeled it right. So that's why I tell myself, don't waste your time, bro.
You think there's more opportunities for kids now? Because we talk about people saying, knife crime and so on is still happening because there's no opportunities. Do you think that's just an excuse? There are opportunities out there? Or is the system still...
No, we can't say that because we have more youth clubs to attend to. They haven't got no youth club like us. We have Kids Company, we have Tech, we have Carib, we have bit. You understand what I'm saying to you? We have youth club, and the youth club wasn't bad. Because remember them Dolly Juice, even though them Dolly Juice is right next to us, them Dolly Juice used to go Carib. We used to go Carib as Peck. You understand? Even though it's Peckham, we used to all go Tech. All the firehouse used to go. You understand what I'm saying to you? We used to go Kids Company. Some of them Brixton used to go Kids Company.
What do you think has changed then? Because as you mentioned it there, and obviously there's been sort of infighting a lot of times through, right, the kids of today wouldn't know, but as you said right there, those days, it doesn't matter what part of Southwark you was from, Old Kent Road, Bermondsey, Wharf Road, Dulwich, Cumber Road, Queens Road, Nunhead. You could go anywhere and there was no issues.
Yeah, we was all in the youth club. We was all mixing with each other. That was my day and age, and I don't know about... So, yes, I do believe they've got more opportunities now. Yeah? I do believe that they got the internet. I've seen... the other day I was just sitting down watching someone just make something so stupid, like had kids' toys. I had to ask someone what knows about it, because I'm just curious about these things. And it had over like 3 million views. All the man, I had to watch it. It was about 10 minutes long, you know, and all the man is doing is showing some toys, bare kids' toys. I had to ask someone, how much money did this man get for that 3 million views? Because I can't believe so. So there is some mad opportunities out there for students doing silly things. So all I would tell the young kids, think out the box. Definitely think out the box. Don't try and do what everybody else is doing. You understand? Or you're just being in the rat race with everybody else. Do you understand? And that's why they're all in the rat race, to try to be road people and try to have to... You understand what I'm saying? That's a rat race, bro. It's a rat race. You know that and I know that. How did you get yourself caught up?
In the rat race.
You was in the rat race. How are you in the position you are in now? Because you took yourself out of what?
I had to think outside the blocks.
And took yourself out the rat race, isn't it? You didn't want to be like every other black youth and say, oh, I'm the it man and whatnot. You didn't mind. You went and found yourself. This is how I went and found myself. And things had to happen. But I pray to God we can talk to these youths and tell them, please. Like, that's why I always say as well, I want to be a successful businessman. You don't know, they're not going to talk to broke people. You know, can you imagine a broke man coming to talk to you, telling you, change your life, What have you got told from? What did you do? And what advice you gave me? How's it benefited you? You best drop asleep. But with someone like me, by the grace of God, God will give it to me. I will be out to, even now I can show them a little certain things and say, look, I'm not, you understand? So they kind of take to me and listen to me. But if you really want to go and shave kids, you got to show them a little bit of glitz and glamour. Like the footballers can get their attention. They come with big whips. It inspires them to say, you want to drive this whip? You're going to have to carry on kicking ball. So us as businessmen, there has to be more businessmen going into ghetto areas, having more seminars with real ghetto youths, not no fake ones, like the youths what's really on the block, and say, look, you can do this. And I think they will more want to aspire to do it. They're all in the rat race because they more see the rat race and they see that brings them the girls, brings them the money. Sometimes it's even to help mommy. Let's be honest. Like, not every youth's a bad dude out the ghetto, you know. Sometimes it's circumstances. Let's not just talk. You understand what I'm saying to you? It's circumstances sometimes as well, right? So, yeah, if I was a young boy, going back to your question, I just tell myself, bro, do it right. Don't waste that time. But I know people that never done road in their life. I went jail, come out of jail, I had a little bit of money. I was a hustler, I had a little bit of change. Bruv, I had girls what looked on me, they got cars HP'd, they're paying off mortgage. Them time now I got not even a credit card, bro. What are you chatting about? And these are girls who used to look and think it. But because they just stayed working in the system. Brother, there's half of the man them on road now hasn't got even a mortgage, bro. They was better off going to get a 9 to 5 and at least have a little house, get older, have a little house. If you got 2 kids, take her 2 holidays.
Say that again, please. Say that again.
You know, what's wrong with... There is some of the man them hasn't even got a mortgage, bro. They can't even fly their kids or their partner around the world. A 9 to 5 can give you a better job. You tell me. Make it add up. And that's one of my things in my life. I said, oh my God. And that's why I refuse to get a job. And that's why I refuse. I have to have a business. And it has to work. Because I said, do you think I've been through all of this for nothing? All of what I went through. To then to can't get a 9 to 5. Oh, bro. I don't know about no one else's, man. That's not... Bro. And then I said, all of what I went through cannot be for nothing. It cannot be what? For me to just say, did this a big... No, bro. I went through too much. I don't know about anyone else's, how they want to charge it or take it. But me personally, I didn't go through everything I went through to end up as nothing. That's not my portion, bro. And then why didn't I just go and get a 9 to... It's this, go and get a 9 to 5. get a mortgage, pay it off, travel around the world with your kids, do something right. Because you see all that jail time, then you get to know credit cards. I got credit card now, I had bad credit. You got no credit. Do you understand? You know how it goes when you're turning legit. But to turn legit at this age, if you do that from young, take out a little phone. You pay it off. You take out little loans. See the time you get 30, yeah? If someone could show me that system and said, you can have this if you've done it like that, yeah? I don't know, and I really saw you can have that. Maybe I would have went down that way.
100%, because my mentor tells me this all the time, and these are two guys who came from the roads, who done good. To be honest, I probably think the millionaires never know. They wouldn't tell me that. I asked them one time for advice. I said, what do you think I need to do first? They said, fix your credit. They said, fix your credit. They said, your credit is everything. They said, same way on road. If you're someone who just goes to rob people, someone ain't want to consign you no food because your credit's dead.
But if your name's good, you're going to get it.
And that goes back to your credit. So same way with the banks, with everything, fix your credit.
So this is the same thing I was telling them from, don't think you can't do business. If you understand the road thing, you just use the terminology from road, the same thing, and I've used one. Same thing. It's just about transferring them, learning how to transfer them skills. You see what I'm saying to you, bro? And I just learned and sat around the right people and read the right books and learned how to transfer it. And I was willing to transfer it. And there's nothing easy. Has your journey been easy to where you are now?
Not at all.
Because I'm still going through it, bro. I still go through, like, some people, trust me, you don't even understand what I go through. But one thing, I want everybody to go and Google that word as well. Perseverance, Google it. It's a word I used to stick up on my jail cell and get up every day and turn. One of the first things I do, I turn around and look at it. Perseverance, Google it. It means it has to get achieved. No matter what obstacles, no matter what you go through, no matter how it looks, no matter what the situation is, as long as you're breathing, it has to get achieved. Perseverance, Google it, please, I beg you. It's been one of my big helps.
I think we'll end it on that one there.